Yeah, I don't like this car setting very much. It's like I'm filming in the hole in the ground. What is up, Flick fans, and welcome back to my channel. This weekend, a brand new movie dropped on VOD and in limited release in theaters. I had the chance to watch it. I'm actually clearly not in my normal setting. I'm visiting my parents, but they said, you know what, we will watch this film with you since it's on demand, and I said, that sounds amazing, so I get the opportunity to review it on the road. I will be back to my set very soon, but for right now, we are going to review this movie. If you guys have seen it, you want to see it, get in the comments section below, let me know, and let's talk about The Hole in the Ground. So trying to escape her broken past, Sarah O'Neill is building a new life on the fringes of a backwood rural town with her young son Chris. But a terrifying encounter with a mysterious neighbor shatters her fragile security, throwing Sarah into a spiraling nightmare of paranoia and mistrust. As she tries to uncover if the disturbing changes in her little boy are connected to an ominous sinkhole buried deep in the forest that borders their home. So a very long summary for this film. If you guys aren't familiar with A24, they constantly produce awesome content. I've only really ever disliked one of their films. All of the other ones I either really like or love. So I was hoping that this film could be on that level. Maybe not as good as I thought Hereditary was, because the more I think about and watch that film, the more I love it. But this had the opportunity to stand alone in 2019 as one of the different and really good horror films, because I feel like we have not seen that yet this year, even though that is coming eventually, hopefully. So you have A24, really high Rotten Tomatoes score for the critics. I'm like, all right, this could be something really cool. Watching the film, I slightly understood why they were afraid to release this in theaters, because there are aspects of this movie that I think the general audience do not like, and I tend to agree with those aspects. I was more divided on this film than I wanted to be. There are definitely shining moments and shining aspects of the storytelling. I thought the directing was super solid, but in terms of what this film is and where it goes and the slightly conventional and cliche plot, it makes more typical horror mistakes than I wanted it to make, and certain characters make irrational decisions, and I'm just sitting back going, is this really an A24 movie? And I know A24 picked it up later on in production, yada, 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 so maybe they had faith that Lee Cronin could deliver, because like I said, the directing aspect of the movie, whether it's getting good performances out of your actors or establishing a setting and a tone that the film does stick to throughout the entire thing, really solid pacing for the most part. My big issue here is not cinematography, because that was really good as well. My big issue here is certain aspects of the story and how familiar it feels and how familiar the mistakes, like I said, that the characters make, especially that of the lead character of Sarah. She is really good in the film, but her character makes mistakes in the third act, mistakes that could have easily been fixed, and she does things that it feels like she just did not think through as a character. Why are you doing this? Why are you trying to accomplish this task when clearly something bad is going to happen if you do not arm yourself or try to defend yourself with a weapon of some sort? And she has time to make these decisions. She just does these things, and I'm like, I liked what you're doing, and then this happens in this moment, and it started to take me out of the film because it just became repetitive at a point. And while the third act does go a different route than I anticipated in the first two acts, I said this film could go in. It's kind of like how The Prodigy affected me earlier on in the year. I do think this is a very similar movie in what it's trying to do with certain characters. I don't want to spoil any more, because I want you guys to be surprised with what the actual plot is, because there's something going on here that you do not know about from this premise, and I want to save that for you. But this and The Prodigy had very similar things happen in the film, and I do think this handled them a little bit better. I think the child actor in The Prodigy was better than this child actor, but this kid still did a really solid job. He was creepy, he was aware, he had good conversations with the mother, and I liked their chemistry, especially in the beginning of the film. And then you see what starts to happen with their relationship, and you see this deteriorate with everything else around it happening. And I have not even hit on the actual name of the film. It's The Big Hole. It's the giant hole in the woods, where the story goes, and it doesn't actually get there until later on in the film, but how it handles that and how it manages to tie that into the plot that we have been experiencing throughout this entire movie, I liked that aspect. It's just tying it all in together with conversations and dialogue and moments that we have never seen before. That's something that I don't think was accomplished. We have seen this style of film multiple times before, and it didn't do enough to make me sit back and go, you know what, A24 is doing something different, it's doing something crazy. There are clear issues, there are things things that this film could have and should have handled better, especially when you look at the talent behind the camera. And the fact that Lee Cronin had such a strong hand in writing the actual screenplay. He did such a wonderful job directing. I just wish the script was a bit stronger. I wish the moments had a bit more impact. And I wish the film would have just cut the scenes that I found a tad bit useless. There are a few in there, and I'm sitting here going, just take them out. What is this in here for? Now, when we get to the finale in that third act, it actually impressed me. It ended on a way higher note than where it was headed, but those problems are still sitting in my mind, and I can't forgive it for that. But I will say this film does end way stronger than you anticipated about halfway through. And because of all of those things, I'm going to give The Hole in the Ground a 60%. Just enough to be fresh, a 3 out of 5, because it looks good, it sounds good, it's done well on a technical level, and I think the directing and the acting really is strong. It just makes mistakes in the script and certain moments of dialogue. I wish that would have been cut out, because instead of making it a must-see A24 horror film, it's just another scary movie that's okay if you like the genre of horror. So what did you guys think? Be sure to comment down below. I am so sorry about the car setting. Once again, I am currently out of town. I will be back very soon with another video in my normal setting, I promise. But I didn't get to see Greta or Medea on Thursday. If you guys still want to see that, let me know. I'm planning on seeing both of those, and when I do, they will be logged on Letterboxd, as will this film. And be sure to get down in the description below, because I have some codes and some links to websites in there that have to do with movies and movie tickets that are going to save you money, and I think you're going to enjoy that. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. As always, I appreciate everything you do, all of the comments, the likes, and the subscriptions, and I will see you very soon.